Everyone, this is the Weeb Lounge, and this is ReZero Lost in Memories, a gacha game, and if you're looking up this video, then, well, I got some starter tips for you to make your life easier when you start playing. Alright, you just installed the game or you're really early on. What should you be doing? You should be cultivating characters. That's what you need to be doing. Now, first thing you're going to end up doing is probably going over to the gacha and doing whatever you can, right? You don't really want to pull from the normal gacha unless you really have to, unless your character lineup is just trash. So try to avoid that and instead do the event ones. Right, because the event characters tend to be pretty good, at least the ones that they've released so far. And in this game, I've noticed that certain characters are really, really good, and then most of the rest are just kind of flatlined. So it doesn't really matter if you have this one or this one or this one. There's some synergy there, there's some strategy there, don't get me wrong. They're not all just meh with the few exceptions. But it's a little early on, and you don't have to worry about that at all. You don't have to worry about any kind of synergy. Now, when it comes to the ticket one, which I don't have any tickets, but this one, when you get those tickets, just spend them. You don't have to wait for the 10 pull. You don't have to, wait for 5 or whatever. You can just spend them as you get them, and hopefully you get some good characters, because you don't want to be wasting your leveling up material. Level up material is so important. So let's go to the home screen, hit quests, down here to the dungeons, and you'll notice this very top one here. There's a few up at the top that allow you to run 3 times, right? Every day they change or switch around and such, and the best thing to do is to do most all of these. Like the yellow one here, if you don't have any yellow characters, you don't have to do that, but you'll notice there all these, especially when early on, have this exclamation point. Well, the exclamation point is going to give you like bonus little medals. Now you see I got them all checked off except for that very last one there. Now those things you can turn in on a little shop that kind of refreshes once in a while, and you can get like tickets and money and just a bunch of other random goodies, and then every so often it'll reset and you can go do it again. So basically, spend your tickets, try to get as many good characters as you can, and stick your magic stones onto the banners. If you get one copy of the guy or whoever's listed on the banner, it might be okay to go do that other gacha, the normal one, because especially early on, and since the game hasn't been out all that long, doing some in the normal gacha is perfectly acceptable. You don't want to blow everything there, but it can work out. It is important to get some characters. I'm going to kind of show you why. Now, you'll see I've got some natural 3-star characters, natural 2s, and natural 1s. That's when you get the character, that's what they start out at. Now, you can see all these 1-star characters. There's like one that I started to work on a little bit because I needed a green character, Phyllis here, or whatever. Yeah, Phyllis. Well, Phil, whatever. I started working on him, and thankfully I got some other green characters to kind of fill the gap. But you got Subaru there too. I worked on him a good little bit because it was early on and I needed to fill some gaps. The idea is that you want a green party, a blue party, and a red party, and you need to fill these up with the appropriate characters. Now, as you can see, Amelia up here, she's a natural 2-star that I really, really leveled up and geared out. She's a pretty good character. She has a really nice heal, and she filled in a gap that I needed filled. Now, you need to do this, but you need to be really wary. For one, your natural 1-star characters, try not to put anything towards any of them if you can help it. Your 2-star characters, do what you got to do to fill gaps, but your 3-star characters, obviously, you focus on those. And there's this kind of roundabout way of developing your characters and your loadouts. And if you do it this way, it might seem like it's taking a little longer than it kind of should, but overall it's going to go smooth and everything will build up properly. Let me show you what I did. Now, early on, in terms of red characters, old Julius here, he was in one of the first banners, right? I think it was the first banner. And I was lucky enough to, I hit a 10 pull or whatever, and boop, he showed up. I was pretty ecstatic about that. But he was one of my few red characters. So what I did is I started circling my build around red. So, and that's also not just because of him, but because of the fact that I had other red characters to go with it. Mimi here. I happen to have her too. She's a really good character. But basically what you want to do, find a group where you can fill up all 5 slots with the same element and start working with that. Now, it sounds kind of odd, maybe, but why should you do that? Because of these guys here. This is what increases your star level. Okay, now you need to get the EXP. Your skills, you actually early on don't worry about leveling your skills up. Yes, it will be a big boost to your damage and everything later on, but when you're initially trying to get your characters going, you do not want to do these. Now, if I scroll right down, these bottom 3 here. Yes, like I said, they're important, but they're not a priority right now. You need to get some set groups before you start throwing stamina into that. Now, if you have everything you need from everything else but leftover stamina, and you think, okay, some skill up material would be good, by all means, please do. But these are what you're focusing on. So now let's see, I put a red team together, right? I put a red team, I leveled it up a little bit, and I need to start working on the other groups too, right? Well, red is good against green. Okay, you use your red team to get the green crystals. And with those green crystals and the level up material, you level up your green characters. When you get the green characters leveled up a little bit, you can use the green characters to start doing the blue crystals. And then you start building your blue team. And you go so far with the red, you go so far with the blue, you go so far with the green, and you keep repeating that little cycle. It's almost like around in a circle. Red to green to blue to red to green to blue, just kind of like that, or whichever element you end up starting on. That's perfectly fine. That's the way I did it. And what it is like you get your characters, say, like level 40, okay? Then you go over to the green, get them level 40. Then you go over to the blue, get them level 40. Then you go back to red, get them to level 50, and just kind of keep going around in that circle. And that way, a lot of your characters start balancing out. Your overall combat level just kind of rises evenly across the whole thing, and eventually you're going to have a well-balanced, good group of all the element characters that you need to boost up. Now, there's a few little exceptional characters to that, and I'm going to show you one, and that is Yellow Element Amelia. Probably the best character in the game right now. She will go in any of those groups. So let's say you have 5 fire, 5 blue, but only 4 green. Okay, you need some other green stuff. Well, you can throw her in as a replacement on that. Yeah, she'll go as a filler with any group. So in all reality, if you really want to look at it this way, you only need 4 of the other elements, and then just throw her in as a replacement in every single group. Now, the problem with that is some of these quests won't allow certain characters, especially the skill up ones. The skill up ones are kind of dumb, and I don't have them quite memorized yet. But in these, some characters it just will not let you do, because like they have to be part of this group or this faction or whatever, or you have to have at least X amount in there, and then the rest you can bring whoever. It's not going to work out necessarily perfect every time. Just in those, just build whatever group it is that you can that'll do the job. But like I said, those are for the skill materials, which we are not focusing on quite not yet. Okay. One thing I did kind of gloss over. At the top here, these are your little daily quests, right? These top few reset every once in a while, and you can only do them 3 times a day. Essentially, you're getting double material out of these, and that's why they only limit you. They don't want you to go too fast. It's a gacha game. You can't go so fast. Well, the very top one is one of the most important ones that you're going to do. And then even down here, you're probably going to grind that a lot as well. But the one at the very top for your EXP runes or scrolls, there's something that you really should consider buying. Now, a lot of people like to go pure free to play, or there's plenty of other people that, you know, don't mind spending some money or whatever. But even for the people who like to be pure free to play, I have to suggest this. Being pure free to play is sometimes hurts you a little bit, because my mentality has always been is if you play a game that's free to play and you're really, really enjoying it and you're playing it for long periods of time, many, many hours, it doesn't hurt to give back a little bit. It really doesn't. So, you know, if you're going to spend like $5 or $10, go for it. There's absolutely no harm in it whatsoever. But let's go to the shop real quick, and I'll tell you why. Main shop, all the way down, 100% drop rate up on the runes. This is invaluable, okay? It's $9.27 or whatever the exchange rate is going to be at the time. But let me explain exactly what that does for you. Now, if you go to these, and I would always do the 2800 one, the normal one, it doesn't really give you all that much. Like, you know, 7 of the medium ones and like 2 of the top tier ones, right? It's kind of garbage, and it's a long grind if you do it that way. Well, if you do the limited one, it's essentially 10 of each, plus possibility of some bonus, which is a lot better than this. It's a leaps and bounds above that. But if you purchase that pack, that's going to double. So you're going to get 20 of the medium, 20 of the high grade, and whatever little bit extra drops. So you're going to get a ridiculous amount of leveling materials right off the bat. Now, is that worth $9, $10, whatever it is? For me, in my opinion, yes, it absolutely is. It's probably the best purchase in the game right now. The other stuff, not so much. Let's go take a look at the shop real quick. Now, I bought a majority of the stuff in here just because, yeah, I wanted stuff. I need to make videos, right? Now, some of these are pretty expensive. Like a guaranteed little essence thing, or memory buff. I don't remember what they call that. This is the only one that I would really recommend doing. All right, you get 840 dark, 840 magic gems right off the bat. Magic stones. All these different gacha games. They all call it something different to some respect. Quartz, jewels, magic stones, whatever. I should just say quartz all the time. Everyone would understand that. But you also get a guaranteed 3-star character. It's random, you don't get to pick, but if you need characters, that could be a really good purchase. And plus the 840 stones, as they're calling them, yeah. That combined with the little bit that you make, probably a 10 pull on top of it. So in terms of value and everything, it's not that bad. And, you know, there's other stuff that you can get, and like this one here, it's another $10. You get 280 stones right off the bat, and then you get 30 a day for the next like 28 days or 30 days, whatever it was. I think it's 28. It says 28, but I could have swore it was longer than that. Don't know. That's not a bad purchase either, but you can live without that. Now, you got the double EXP pack. You got the circle grind, and there's other ways to put that, but I call it the circle grind. It's close to something else. Don't go there. But other than that, what should you do? Should you really progress the story, push as far as you can? Well, yeah. I mean, you have the story and you have the regular quest, and they kind of go hand in hand. So you can go here, you can start doing quests and everything and getting 15 stones apiece. They're not terribly super important. But you go through there, you get that, and every once in a while there'll be a roadblock. And that roadblock takes you back to the stories. Now, the quests you can kind of do whenever. You know, when they open up, you go do them. You get your 15 stones or whatever it's going to give you. That's fine. You don't necessarily have to push. But, everybody's going to progress at their own pace. The story, however, is what blocks you. Now, the story, I can't express how important it is. Go to this walkthrough page. I'll get to that in just a second. Now, in every one of these, you're going to see different paths. You're going to see different treasures. You're going to see this little red dot right here. Okay? the little treasures there, up on the very top when you see 0/0, that means there was no treasure there to get. But the red dot means there's a little bonus, a little achievement that you can get. Well, what was that achievement? I don't remember, but chances are it's something like have so much courage or get so much knowledge while going through the story. You know, every time you make a little selection or whatever, you get a little courage, a little nori, a little bit of whatever. You know, sometimes you even lose a little bit. But it all depends what route you go in the story. And here's the bad thing. If you're watching this video to learn how to play, there's a pretty good chance you know very little Japanese, if any at all. Okay? If you know Japanese, then that is what it is. But chances are your Japanese is going to be minimal or non-existent. You just want to play ReZero because Rem's probably your waifu, right? Team Rem. But you want to make sure that you can get these achievements without wasting mental stamina. Mental stamina, that's your dealio up at the top left. And 9 out of 10. You only get 3 a day, which means you can do 3 story attempts a day. And if you go through it and you mess up and you don't get that award, well, you're going to have to use another one of those rare mental stamina to do it again. And then if you mess up again, well, guess what? You're wasting more stamina. Okay. There's a website that you need, appmedia.jp/Revelith. I'll put a link in the description, and there's probably like a screenshot up here too. Like, how's my figure? That way. Okay. This is an important website. Yes, it's in Japanese, but here's what you do. 1, use Chrome, and 2, there's an extension for Google Translate that can take all that Japanese and put it into halfway bad English for you. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but it might not be the best translation in the world, but you can get the idea of what you need to do. And there's a whole section of story walkthroughs. A whole section of it. It tells you exactly what you get, depending on the choice that you make, and completing those little achievements, getting that little red dot to show up, even on ones that have the 3 red dots. It makes life easy, and you don't make any mistakes unless you misread something, which, considering the translation, actually shouldn't happen because it's not bad at all. Now, you're also going to notice different routes. You got like treasure chest 1 of 1. This guy right here, there was 5 of 5 things to get, and those 5 of 5 things was like keys to unlock the other story bits here, because the story goes all over the place. My God. But you want to make sure that you do about as everything as you can. And also, you don't want to accidentally waste some mental stamina. I think you can go down a route that you might not be able to. For example, this guy. It says 1 of 2. There's 1 left, but in reality, that's locked. Can't quite get to it yet. Now, there's a chance that it is unlocked and I just haven't gotten to it yet. There is that chance because I haven't done it in a few days. But the thing is, and I was early on going through the whole thing, guess what happened? I used mental stamina on that thinking I made a mistake and I couldn't unlock that. And I reread the thing, I clicked it again, I was like, okay, I can't get over here. And then my eyes kind of bugged out noticing that in the guide that I didn't look at yet, kind of told me that, hey, you can't go that way yet. It's not in the game. Okay, I just wasted mental stamina. Be careful when you're going through the story. And you have to go through the story. Because in order to progress through the normal quest line and do the fights, you're going to get so far through the fights, and it's going to be like, hey, this is locked until you reach story X. And then it unlocks, and you go so far, oh, you got to do story again. They go hand in hand. And since mental stamina is rare, you don't want to waste it, use the guide. Link in the description. Make sure you go there. Make sure you do it. Now, as far as anything else, so you got the circle grind, and I really shouldn't name it that. I really shouldn't. Don't waste your mental stamina. Double EXP. Make sure you buy that pack as long as you're willing to spend a couple of bucks. I know. And as far as characters go, build them up, steady, slow, whatever. That's perfectly fine. And that's really all you need to know to start playing this game. You don't one thing that I tried to do that I don't suggest doing is focusing your attention on one character and, you know, raising their level, getting them all crazy, using the memory pieces and everything that you get, using the courage, Nori, and everything to advance the little tree thing. And I would focus on one character. I think it was Julius. I focused on him early on, and I was like, okay, he's a good character, good character. And then I find myself kind of roadblocked, having to not have anything else for the other characters. It was stupid on my part. It's a gacha game. I should know better, but that's what I did because I'm dumb, apparently. So don't do that. Learn from my mistake. And with that, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button, whatever platform you're watching on. I very much appreciate it. Don't forget about our Fate Grand Order account giveaway. It's searching around somewhere in our playlist. A $35,000 account we're giving away, and yeah, it's that's money. And also over on Toaru Index, if you happen to play that game, Imaginary Fest, the Weeb Lounge is a guild there. We have open slots, and you are welcome to join. With that, we'll see you in the next video.